Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is day 1 out of a 6-day sew along for the Krystal Convertible backpack by Lynn's Handmade. If you haven't seen this pattern, you should check it out. It's really rad. It goes from a crossbody to a shoulder bag, and then you pull on the straps like, whoops, like that, and it goes to a backpack. This pattern is, I would say, a medium to large size tote bag pattern, and you can make it in any textile that you want. I personally made mine with Psy leather. If you've never heard of Psy leather, be sure to check out the links that I have in the description box and go check it out. But basically it's silicone leather. It is a sustainable alternative to like your standard vinyls. The reason that Psy leather is considered sustainable is just because of the longevity of the textile as a whole. So again, just be sure to do some research, check it out. And you know, if you want to try it out, go ahead. I wanted to use it on this backpack because I really like the natural drape of Psy leather. It doesn't create creases. Even if it's folded like this for a really long time, it will never fully crease all the way, which I really like because when you're wearing this bag as a backpack, it's creased down the center the whole time. So I used Lagoon on the back or on the front, and then Pear on the back. And then I also did cork accents here. That's Eco Luxe. You can see the zippers here. These are like super nice Italian zippers. They are from Fabric Fun House. They are metal teeth zippers. So in the videos, I show you how to remove teeth and how to, you know, make a zip tape be any size that you need it, even if they have metal teeth. My other favorite little thing is that I used these olive wood zipper pulls. Those are really nice. Let's see, the amendments that I made are, I made the straps fully adjustable. That is not in the pattern. So there's a hardware change. Instead of using the D-rings that the pattern calls for, I changed it over to 3 strap slides and then 3 rectangle rings. I did a zipper end cap on mine instead of 2 zipper end pieces like that. I used wax canvas on the inside of mine. So the only interfacing, here's my insides. I did the opposite colors in wax canvas. So it's Lagoon on the bottom and then Pear on the sides here. But the only interfacing that I used in this bag is what's called Fashion Fuse. I think that's what's called Fashion Fuse. It also came from Fabric Fun House, and it is what they recommend to use on Psy leather if you need to give it just a little bit of extra oomph. It doesn't really add any body to the bag or to the textile, but what I found is it helps it not stretch, because Psy leather does have a slight tendency to want to stretch, especially under the pressure of your feed dogs and your presser foot. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. I did quilt the bottom. That is an addition that I made. I added the zip overlay on the back. That is also not in the pattern, but again, I show you how to do all of that in the videos. So be sure to subscribe so that way you are alerted every time I post a new video, and that way you can follow along. And then also join my Facebook group so that I can see your bag. Oh, last thing. Lynn's Handmade graciously gave us a discount code to use for this sew along. So on the Krystal Convertible PDF and the paper pattern, you can use code SewGnar15. That's capital S, SewGnar15, for 15% off through the end of this month. So that's September 30th, 30 days past September, April. Yeah, so September 30th of 2022, that code will work. So yeah, everything is in the description box. Be sure to read all of that down there. I have all the information on needle and thread and every like notions that I'm using. Everything is listed below. So be sure to check that out and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And I hope that you enjoy the sew along and have fun. All right, guys, let's get into it. I am ready to get started. I have all of my pieces cut. I have my 2 straps here. I've got my base, and I have a piece of foam that is just about a 1/2 inch smaller on all 4 sides. It's a rough cut. I eyeballed it and it's not perfect. So there's my base, my foam. I have my strap anchors. These are going to go at the top of the bag on either side of the zipper. And then because I am amending the pattern and I'm going I'm just going to be changing a couple of things about the straps. So I have these two bottom strap anchors, and I cut these 2 inches by 2 inches. I have my interior zipper overlay, my exterior zipper overlay, exterior slip pocket, 2 sets of my zipper pocket linings, my actual lining, 2 here, and then I have my exteriors. So you can see I'm doing one in this pear side leather, and I'm doing another in this teal side leather. I should have looked it up, but I think that it might be like Lagoon or something along those lines. All of this and links will be in the description box below. So before you ask, please check the description box for information. Now, Talia sent me this interfacing to use with the side leather. So I just cut out a couple pieces to put on the backs here. And I'm going to do this because I think it'll help it not be so stretchy. So you can see side leather has a little bit of stretch, and it's not terrible until you're sewing it. And then that's when you really, really notice it. So I'm going to add this fusible interfacing to the back of each of my exterior main panels. If you didn't pick up on it, I'm using wax canvas for all my lining, so I am not using any interfacing on that. So I'm just gonna grab my pressing mat here, which if you don't have one of these, this has really been super handy for me. This is called a wool pressing mat. It's just about a 1/2 inch of just pressed wool, and it makes ironing so much easier and quicker because I don't have to pull out my ironing board every time. I can just whip this on top of my table and go, go, go. Oops. Okay, so this seems like it's really hot. Okay, I feel like as long as I move pretty quick, I should be okay. Now, side leather is extremely heat resistant, so you're not going to be able to use anything on it that isn't adhesive. And also, I'm pretty sure in my experience, it doesn't work fantastic with glue. So I'm going to be using double stick tape, but we will try the glue at some point just to test that theory. But the good thing about side leather is because it is heat resistant, you can't ruin it with an iron, unlike vinyl where you can melt it. But that being said, it doesn't hold like a finger press, or you can't crease it the way that you can like crease wax canvas. Okay, this doesn't seem like it's quite stuck on. So this interfacing is called, let me see, I have it pulled up. This interfacing is called Pellin 420. It's called Fashion Fuse. And it's written that it's great for, its ideal use is with natural and imitation leather and furs. It adds structure and definition. It will support the shape of a project without affecting the hand or causing hardening. So the reason that they suggest to use it on the side leather is because side leather has such a nice natural drape to it. And, you know, so you don't want to lose that drape. See, so you can tell it still has a nice drape to it. And now it has just a slight piece of interfacing. So now let's do this one here. So Fabric Funhouse sells this Fashion Fuse. Certainly you can get it other places, I would imagine locally. Although, now that I think about it, I don't know that I have seen Fashion Fuse. Like if I'm at Joann's or something. I don't think I'd ever heard of it before Talia told me about it. But, yeah, so Fashion Fuse from Fabric Funhouse, it's $6.92 a yard. It's 18 inches wide by 36 inches. All right, so now the next thing that I need to do is adhere my foam to the back side of this side leather. But first, I'm gonna draw just a couple of quilting lines so that I can quilt these two together. I'm gonna try to use my chalk pen because I don't want the silver to stain, my silver marking pen to stain the side leather. And so I'm just gonna be kind of random here. Right, so we got that ready to go. Move that iron out of the way. I am going to adhere it with some basting spray. I need to find something to spray it on, otherwise it's going to get my mat all sticky. I'm actually going to spray the foam itself so that way, so that way there isn't any stickiness on the perimeter of my piece here. I pulled my darn cap off. Uh-oh, I think I might have just messed up my basting spray. That is so annoying. This stuff is so expensive and it like clogs and just, I need to find a different brand. Okay, so I'm gonna do some double stick tape. Hopefully this sticks well and doesn't make me regret it. But so I'm just gonna glue this down to where I've got a nice lip on around the entire perimeter of the flex foam, because I don't want to have to sew it into the seam at the very end whenever I'm attaching the base to the rest of the bag. Now the reason I like to use side leather on my base of the bags, I've been incorporating it into a lot of my bigger bags recently, just because side leather is so durable. You know, you're not going to get color scraping off. It won't leave like imperfections. It just really, really lasts a long time. And I do love a nice cork bottom, but cork, you know, shows wear and tear definitely, and it picks up dirt a lot easier. So I've been incorporating the side leather base just so that I know for sure the longevity and durability is there in my bags. Which it is with cork, don't get me wrong, but side leather is made out of silicone, so just by nature, it's going to last a lot longer than, you know, cork or regular vinyl. All right, so we've got that. So now what I need to do is I need to quilt this down. But I'm just gonna check to see if there's any more prep work that I could be doing before we go over to the machine. Okay, we are going to work on prepping the back panel. So this is where we're gonna have the pocket and the zipper pouch here. And so what I'm gonna do is prep my pocket first. Now, because this side leather has this white backing, I'm actually gonna line it with just a piece of wax canvas, but you can see I cut it a 1/2 inch from all sides here. And now the first thing I'm going to do is just add some double stick tape. And now double stick tape just historically doesn't really work great with wax canvas, but we are going to work with what we have and give it a shot. I'm just putting a couple pieces here just to hold the wax canvas in place. You could quilt this if you wanted to, and that might look kind of cool having some quilting lines here, which I could do, but I'm probably not going to, but you could. And then so now, after I get my wax canvas stuck down, I'm just being careful. I'm eyeballing it, making sure that I get my wax canvas in the middle. So 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. Pressing that well. And then now what I'm gonna do is just fold my side leather around the wax canvas here. And so this will probably have a little bit of lift because the wax canvas isn't stuck all the way down. It's going to lift a little bit, but we are just going to work with what we've got. We'll have a Tim Gunn moment and make it work. I have not done this before. This is my first time making a full-size bag out of side leather, so you might see some hiccups on this video, and that's okay. We are all learning together. So I want to fold in my long edges first because the top edge I want to be nice and smooth. So let's see how that works out. So I'm just gonna, using the wax canvas as my guide, I'm just folding it over. So obviously it's gonna need clips. It's already trying to pull off. I have a feeling that these corners are gonna be pretty bulky. So you might have to figure something out about that. The reason I really wanted to use side leather on this bag was because I just know that at the end, with the drape that the Krystal has, the shape of the bag, I know that the side leather is going to be perfect for it. And so we're just going to muddle through this together because I know that the outcome is going to be worth it. Okay, so now for the top and bottom edge. The thing that I want to be really careful of is I don't want my corners to stick out from below or from the edges. So let's see, I'm just gonna clip. And so in the pattern, Lynn's talks about how she clips these little corners so that it lays flat. The only problem that I have with that is that I think if I do that, you're gonna be able to see the raw edge. So I'm just gonna leave it like that and hope for the best. And then I'll probably add a rivet too, just to really help hold it down after I install the pocket. The only thing we're going to want to be really careful of is when we're sewing it, we want to be careful that our feed dogs don't drag on these really thick corners here and mess up our stitches, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so moving on to the zipper overlay. I'm just gonna notch my corners here. And now the way that the pattern is written, you put your zipper pocket on the left and your slip pocket on the right, and you need them to be centered so that you have the same amount of width on either side. And now when we install the actual zipper pocket, the pocket itself is going to be going this way toward the right side of the work. So this pocket is going to lay right underneath the slip pocket. It'll just be on the inside of the bag. So the other thing that we need to consider is that when the bag is done and it does have that drape, we don't want our pockets to really mess with the shape. So we want to put them down toward the bottom here. Let me see, I might actually reference the pattern. What an idea. So let's see. The pattern says to put them one inch up from the bottom. So I'm gonna throw some double stick tape onto my zipper guy here. So if I do two, that seems too far. All right, not sure what happened, but here we are. So we are gonna go to the machine now that we have everything prepped and ready to go. So we're gonna sew down just the exterior around our zipper pocket or zipper overlay. We're gonna do just along the top edge on our slip pocket. We have our straps. We are going to stitch around our bottom strap anchors. And then I think this cut off in the video, but I prepped my top strap anchors by taping them wrong sides together, and we're going to top stitch around all of these, and then we can get started on edge coating those. And then lastly, we need to quilt our flex foam to the base here.